Hello, everybody. My name is Kyle Kassler, and I work for the Stevens Initiative. Today, we are recording this during the pandemic, and so we're all joining you today from our homes. But today, we want to talk about a resource that is available to alumni of the Stevens Initiative sponsored virtual exchange programs. And that resource is Localized, a platform where young people can connect to professional resources, including experts, networks, mentors, and people can participate in learning opportunities and find jobs. I'd like to introduce Ahmad El Tatawi, the Director of Partnerships and Growth at Localized. Ahmad, do you want to get started today by introducing yourself and talking a little about Localized a little bit?
Thank you, Kaya, for the introduction, and hi, everybody. It's great to virtually meet you. Just very quickly, Localized is a platform that is there to basically connect industry experts to students and fresh graduates that are interested in learning more about the real life world. So there are certain things that you can learn from in an educational institution, but then there is the progression. There's new technologies, new innovations that might not yet be embedded in the particular program that you're in. And by connecting you to industry experts that are really dealing with this on a day-to-day basis, you really get to hear firsthand how these things work in real life. In addition to that, there are certain skills that you might not necessarily learn in school or in university, and these are more like the softer skills. So through these connections with industry experts, you're really able to get a good understanding of where else do I need to develop myself in order to position myself in the best way possible as I am entering into the job market. These relationships or these back and forth communications can develop into a mentor-mentee relationship. Obviously, that's something that naturally happens, but the platform is there to allow people to get to that kind of a relationship.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I have been fortunate enough to be on the platform for a couple of months now, and I've never seen anything like it. It's really just so much content, so many experts, and really easy to connect. I'm sure our alumni, if they're watching this, are thinking, well, how do I sign up for the platform? And it is exclusive, exclusively, we're offering this from the Stevens Initiative to our alumni. And so there's a kind of a specific process they have to take. But it's easy for our virtual exchange alumni to sign up. So at the end of a virtual exchange, the program administrators should send the alumni a letter that has a special link to the platform. So you click that link and you can start the sign up process. And Ahmad will show us what that looks like. If you have a problem or you don't receive the letter, you can always email me at stevensalumni@aspeninstitute.org. And I'll put that email address up on the screen so everybody can see it. And Ahmad, yeah, when they click on the link, what happens?
So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen.
Oh, awesome.
And please let me know if when you see this.
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So the letter that you guys will receive from the Stevens Initiative will have the link to take you to this page right here. And you see the link is stevensalumni.localized.world. This is a landing page that has been specifically designed for the Stevens Initiative. And here we go. So this design, and then you can, through that landing page, if you just scroll down a little bit, as I was doing earlier, you're able to see some of the different features that are available on Localized, and that jumped pretty quickly. So you're able to see expert advice, you're able to connect with experts who have done it, find opportunities, explore career paths, connect with experts. And to do this, the first step is a simple sign up to sign up button. So when you click on that sign up button, it redirects you to the landing page or the sign up process of Localized. This is a relatively easy process. You can sign on with your Facebook account, with your LinkedIn account, with your Google account, or with your Apple account. The Apple sign-on is a new thing actually that we've added. Or when this is the way that I prefer to do it, I do it using the regular sign-on process where I put my email address, my name, my email address, and a password. and I quickly sign up. So this is the basic information that you need to put in. You have to put in all these information and you go directly to the sign-on process. So this is a few things to consider here. So number one, if I'm a student, I will select that I'm a student. If I'm not a student, you don't need to select it. The
Okay.
sign-on link that we've used will automatically associate you to the Stevens Initiative once you've gone through this process. So whether you're a student or not, you will still be a member of the Stevens Initiative organization. Let's start off by saying that I am a student. Quick, let's go. And there's a few questions to ask. So the first two steps, you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps to the sign-on process. The first two steps are the mandatory fields. If I click on next here without putting any information in, you start seeing that these are red. I need to put in information here. So I live in Cairo, and that's a drop-down list. So you will need to select from that drop-down list. What languages am I comfortable speaking? I'm comfortable speaking Arabic. Oops, sorry. I'm comfortable speaking Arabic and English. So I can add both of these here. And then I click next. Again, this is the second page, and this is all mandatory information. So if I click next without filling in, you see what I have to fill or not. Now here, I understand here that this could be a little bit of a tricky part, this one in particular, because if I start typing in something here, you start seeing universities pop up. So if your particular university is a member of Localized, you will see that it will appear on the list of universities that are available. If not, that's not a problem. So I graduated actually from the George Washington University. So I can put, I know that the George Washington University is not a part of Localized, but you see, I can put in my university and it's fine. There's not a problem. It accepts it.
If it doesn't come up in the dropdown, it's okay. You can still just type it in.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
What did I study? I studied business administration. And here, this is important. This needs to be in the drop-down list. If your specific major is not exactly there, so I studied international business, right? So I know that international business is not there, but international business falls within business administration. And this is really there to help when you're talking to an expert that they understand what kind of areas did you study in general. When will you graduate? So this again, so if you remember, I selected that I'm a student. So here I can put in the year that I'm expecting to graduate, okay? And what level of degree that I do. In GW, I had done a bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And if I click next here, now I'm gonna do one thing. So I can click next here, it will take me to the next slide. And actually now we highly recommend that you continue going through this process, okay? However, you don't need to. So as of this third page, I can start clicking next, and it'll go through the process, okay? Now, what I wanted to show you just very quickly, because I know that not all of you are currently studying. So if I go just one more step back and say that I'm not a student, I go through the same process. So I've already filled out this information. It will remain to be there. The second page is where it's different. So it asks me who my employer is. And I can put here localized. Okay. And again, if I put in localized, blah, blah, right? There's no company called that. It will accept this as an entry. That is not a problem.
Cool.
So even if the company is not on, it still will accept it as a company. What is my current position? I'm just gonna, for the sake of time, I'm gonna write director. I'm gonna click next. And the steps following this are the same. What are my interests? Am I looking for a job or not? What are my skills? And channels that I would like to follow. So the channels bit is important because this helps the engine, the AI engine in Localized to start and develop an idea of what your interests are, what you like. So just for the sake, this is the Future Talks webinar. I highly recommend everybody follow this channel. This is where all the webinars that happen on Localized live after they happen. It's full of resources, full of very interesting information. Launch Your Career is also a very interesting channel because it's led by our career coach in residence, Iyad Yaqub, who and everybody on local and everybody can benefit from this. And basically, I've gone through the sign up process on Localized. It's
Okay,
very
awesome.
quick. And here, as soon as you click on the start, you start getting a welcome note of so basically what you can do. You can showcase your talent, you can follow channels, check out our expert, or ask experts for information. And a simple get started will launch me into my homepage on Localized.
Oh,
Now,
cool.
obviously, I have not verified my email yet, so there's this right here. My profile is not fully complete. I did not put in interest. I did not put in skills. There's a few steps that I jumped over. Now, this is important because if you are talking to an expert, if you want to connect to an expert, and you really connect to the expert, it's important that the expert can go into your profile and see what are you up to, what are your interests, what are your skills, where did you go to school, what is your bio,
Yeah.
upload your resumes. These are all important, and I'll show you how to do that very quickly. So once you're on, before I jump into this button here, it's complete your file will appear here as long as your profile is not 100% complete. Now, everybody has the same homepage on Localized. And one thing I want to show you here is, you see, I have told you that automatically as I sign in with the link that Kyle has sent out, or the Stevens Initiative has sent out, you're already associated with the Stevens Initiative. So I am my individual, I'm on Localized as an individual, but I'm also connected to the institution of the Stevens Initiative. Your feed on Localized is populated based on the channels that you are following and based on the memberships that you are following. So when the Stevens Initiative posts a comment on their page, it will appear on your feed right here. When one of these channels posts a comment or posts something on their channels, it will appear to you right here. I'm going to jump into the channels in just a bit because it's an important part of the platform. Up here, you see webinars that are coming up. Now, these webinars are open and accessible to everybody on Localized, regardless of the institution that they're coming in from, regardless of the country that they are visiting from. If you see a topic that's interesting, and actually it's gone now because the session already happened, but earlier today I was moderating a session with Nadia Makboul about sustainable architecture. Very interesting session. She studied in the UK. She understands sustainable architecture very well. She happens to be working in Oman, but again, her expertise, her knowledge are relevant across the MENA region and beyond on a global level as well. So all of these webinars are recorded. All of these webinars are accessible for anybody to see. Let's have a look, for example, at this particular one. So just a quick note, we have two types of webinars. Webinars where our career coach in the residence, Iyad Yaqub, and this is him pictured here. He does sessions every Sunday, and he talks about different topics to help you perform better, right? So this one is about emotional agility, resume and digital profile labs. As we're getting closer to our career fair, our virtual career fair, you'll see that the topics he's talking about are more relevant to how do I beef up my virtual profile? How do I approach an employer virtually? If you click on any of these right here, what you're able to do is you're able to click that you're interested in this particular webinar. You're able to add that particular webinar to your calendar, and it tells you, and this is based on your local time, so the timing will be different from screen to screen based on your location. There's a little description for every webinar, and you see who the host of this particular webinar is. If you know somebody that might be interested in this, you're able to also share it on the common social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. So again, I want to ensure that because I receive this question very often, Kyle. But this is not for me. Am I allowed to join this webinar? Yes, you are. If it's here, if it's up here, if it's featured on Localized, you're allowed to join it.
Oh,
And
good
the
to know.
nice thing about these is the experts that we have on Localized, while the majority of them have roots in the MENA region, many of them work outside the MENA region. Many of them work in Silicon Valley, in the US, in the UK. So while their roots are MENA based, their knowledge, their experiences, their expertise are truly on a global scale.
Yeah.
So you can really, everybody can really benefit from these
Mhm.
experts. And
And
let me
and it
just
makes
say,
sense. It makes sense for like our alumni who have like learned to engage with the people virtually, engage with people who might not live in their same city or they may not ever meet face to face. Like these are perfect people for them to engage with and learn from because our alumni aren't wedded to someone in their town anyway. They can learn from people at a global perspective. That's great.
Uh, absolutely. And I will highlight again, Iyad Yaqub. He was, by the way, in career services at Stanford University. He's
Hmm.
living in, he works at a company called Skills. It's a large gaming company. They've recently IPO'd.
Hmm.
He is in charge of learning and development there. He's awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
really recommend everybody join his Sunday sessions.
Hmm.
Sorry. So I'm going to jump into the Stevens Initiative page right here, because I think that's the next thing that's important.
Hmm.
So the Stevens Initiative has a presence on Localized. This is what
Yeah.
it looks like. Uh, um, you are so as an institution, there's posts that are posted, and as a
Hmm.
member of the institution, I'm able to always respond and put comments on any posts that are happening, and I'm
Hmm.
able to also like them. Uh, um, there's an overview section, obviously, but I believe most people that join here will already have a pretty good understanding of it.
Yeah.
This is the cool part of it. So you are able to look at all the members that are
Hmm.
in on Localized, part of the Stevens Initiative section, and you can search them out too. So let me just do this right here. I'm going to search out Kyle.
Hmm.
Okay, if I click on his profile, because me and Kyle are both part of the Stevens Initiative organization, then we are able to contact each other directly.
Oh, cool.
So if I click on contact right here, it will open up a messaging, the messaging part of the platform, and the messaging part can also be reached, by the way, from this button right here, from the
Hmm.
L button here, and I Kyle. This is very cool. Why? Because we've actually recently launched a mobile app as well.
Uh-huh.
So these messages will pop up as notifications on your mobile app. So you ensure quick engagement. Why is
Cool.
this also very important? Because I can reach out to an expert from his particular channel. And if an expert wants to engage with me further, the expert is able to also reach out to me via messaging, via this
Hmm.
messenger. And it's nice to be able to see a notification if somebody I've been following closely is getting in contact with me. It's always nice to be able to see that.
Yeah.
In addition to this, an expert is also able to launch a video call with you. So an expert through Localized can actually invite you to have a Zoom session with them on Localized through the platform, through this direct messaging part of the platform.
Hmm.
Now I'm gonna jump here to another section very quickly, and I'm conscious of the time, and it's a lot to take in, but
Sure.
uh, so the channels part is an important part of the platform, because this is where I can really connect and interact with experts. So let's just, for the sake of I'm gonna click on this channel right here. I know that this particular channel has a ton of people,
Hmm.
which is also nice to see, because you can have a very large scale engagement. This expert on the channel here is Iyad. He has 1,900 followers. Iyad is
Uh-huh.
active on this channel.
Hmm.
I'm able to comment on any of the posts that Iyad puts in here. Okay, I can um, I can add a comment to Iyad directly. Iyad, and I think I might be pronouncing spelling his name incorrectly, but anyways, the idea is you are able to add so directly direct a comment to a particular individual. And also within every channel there's this chat functionality right here, which allows you to have a group chat, so everybody, so the 1,900 members of this channel are able to see what's going on in this chat. Again, if we are part of the same organization, I am able to click on that particular person. And here, I think Ayad is a cool example to see what a complete profile would look like. So Ayad has a bio, he has his education, he has his experiences. So I'm interested in Ayad, right? Ayad's a cool person. I want to get in contact with Ayad. What do? I can look at this part right here. Ayad is following 21 channels and he's leading 8 channels. If I click on the channels that he's leading, I can go into any one of these channels on the chat function of that channel, or comment on posts that Iyad might have put in. I can add a comment directly to Iyad. So because Iyad is leading these channels, he will get a notification on any activity that happens on the channel. So he will know that you've reached out to him. He will know that a message has been sent directly to him, and then he's able to go in and have a look at the message. Most likely, also just to manage expectations, an expert will first comment back to you on their channel. It's a kind of like a first step of getting to know each other. You can request. You are able to request an expert if you can get in contact with them on a one-on-one. Now, this is important. Why? Localized as a platform, all our experts on Localized are here on their own accord. They're volunteering their time to be on Localized because they want to help, because they want students to reach out to them. Right? This is what differentiates this platform from, say, something more professionally geared like LinkedIn. Right? These experts, their LinkedIn profiles is their professional profile. They're very polished. Right? They want to look in a specific way. This is not the case here. Localized is there. The experts are on Localized because they want you to reach out to them. They want you to engage in the comments that they're posting. They want you to like. They want you to comment. All these things are they're cool for the experts, right? They like to see engagement. When they receive engagement, they're willing to give back more. It's a kind of a self-fulfilling cycle kind of thing, you know.
But they're not just going to reach out to you if you don't like connect with them first. Yeah, of course,
right? But it's there. And that's what when I mentioned at the very beginning, you have an expert that's interesting. You connect with them, you reach out to them through the channel, and that can eventually develop that kind of a relationship. Can develop into somebody being your mentor, somebody responding to a specific question about a job opportunity or about a career decision that you're not sure which way to go. Experts are, again, they're on Localized because they want to help out in that way. I'm gonna quickly go into the channel section because while I jumped into the channel, I just wanted to show you that the platform will recommend channels based on the interest and the skills that you have indicated. You're able to see more of the channels. And if I click that, it shows me quite a lot of different channels that I can, and the list, we have plenty of channels to select from. The skills are varied, they're different. And this is where then the search function becomes quite handy, right? Because there's already quite a lot of content on Localized. So if I on the search, let's assume I'm recently graduated and I want to start up my own business. This is a dream that I have. And so if I go to, if I click on entrepreneurship, for example, on the search function, what it will do is it'll give me a whole bunch of resources about entrepreneurship. There's 35 channels on Localized where the people that have created these channels have indicated either entrepreneurship on the title or in the topics that this particular channel is talking about. There are articles and videos about entrepreneurship, and there are people that have indicated they are that they also that they are interested, or the skills that they have are about entrepreneurship. You can in any of these, if you click on the see more section, it will open up a whole bunch of a whole list of different options. And again, so the people think, for example, I did that with Ayad, right? I clicked on Ayad, he's interesting. I went onto his profile, and through the profile, I'm able to see which channels he's leading. I
Yeah.
go into that channel, and then I can get in contact directly with Ayad. But this is kind of like if I'm not sure, if I don't know Ayad, right? So
Yeah.
Ayad is a good example. If I attended the webinar for him,
Hmm.
he's interesting. I want to learn more about him. I go in and I type his name out. I go into the search functionality of Ayad.
Cool.
The last part that I wanted to share with you is job opportunities.
Hmm.
So not only are we a platform that allows for students to interact with experts, but we are also a platform where companies can come on and they can post vacancies that they have on the platform. And this is the career fair section. I have a couple of other slides I'm going to flip to just to give you an idea of what that would look like.
Yeah.
But in the same way that you can search out for jobs, employers can also search you out.
Yeah.
So again, the
So they have like a
profile
mirror.
part.
They have like a mirror of it. They can search for like employees. Yeah.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. And so the profile part again becomes very handy, right? If an
Hmm.
employer is looking for a candidate, they go into a person, he says the right things, they click onto his profile and it's empty,
Hmm.
doesn't say very much, right?
Yeah.
About the particular. But so for each job, you can favorite a job if you like it.
Hmm.
You can see more about the particular job. Okay, and then you can obviously apply to that particular job.
Cool.
I'm gonna I wanna switch myself out.
Hmm.
Not this part. So this is my other localized profile,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that my profile is really fully complete. So I have my LinkedIn connected. I
Hmm.
have my bio, my education, my experiences, channels that I'm leading, channels that I'm following, and I
Hmm.
also have. It's not actually visible here, but employers would be able to see my resume
If they were
I have
looking at it
uploaded.
from their perspective.
Exactly. From there,
Okay.
as an employer, you have obviously certain
Hmm.
functionalities or options that are features that are not available for students.
Yeah.
Now, the last two slides I'm going to share with you.
Hmm.
The career fair, right? We have a career fair planned on the 16th and 17th of November.
Hmm.
Um, get on Localized. You're on. If you're a part of the Stevens initiatives, you already have access to Localized. There's no registration that needs to happen.
Hmm.
The only thing that I will ask from students and recent graduates is again profile. Get your
Yeah.
profile in tip-top shape so that if somebody approaches you, they're able to understand. They get a good image of what your skills are. So what does that look like? I'm gonna just quickly flip here. These are static images,
Uh-huh.
but what I wanted to show is you see next to localized right here, there's a career fair button that
Hmm.
appears. If I just quickly flip back to this channel, you see it doesn't exist at the moment because we don't
Yeah.
have a career fair in progress. Once the career fair happens, this button will appear. There's an image, a brief description, and three
Hmm.
tabs. Actually, there will be four tabs in the upcoming career fair. The upcoming events, which are here. So our upcoming events and the career fair are companies that have representatives that come up and talk. These are
Hmm.
examples that we have people from Ernst and Young. This O-Train is a Jordanian training company. Tamatem is a company I hadn't known about. This really cool Jordanian company that works in gaming, the Arabized games
Oh,
for the
cool.
region. Awesome culture, really.
Hmm.
After their talk, they had a ton of people applying to their jobs.
I'm sure.
Um, People that are interested in talks for this coming career fair, we had Ernst
Uh-huh.
and Young that are interesting. We have McKinsey that have indicated that they're interested in doing talks.
Hmm.
We have a couple of insurance brokers, insurance companies that are talking. Nestle have indicated that they're also interested in doing. So we expect good,
Content.
nice content. Yes.
Hmm.
The last bit here, so this is just an example of the participating employers. Again, this was from the last career fair, and
Yeah.
you'll see the bubbles like this, just
Hmm.
bubbles that are appearing. If you click on any of these bubbles for the company, what that does is it will take you to the page of that particular company. So in the
Uh-huh.
same way that the Stevens Initiative has a page on Localized, each of these companies also has a page on Localized.
Yeah.
Their particular pages will have an extra bit, which is jobs. So
Hmm.
all the jobs that are specific to that particular company will be visible on their page. And the last bit, I'm going to go back here. The last bit is so the employers, the channels of the employers. So in the same way that you can contact experts through channels, you
Yeah.
can contact the recruiters of those companies through their channels.
Hmm.
And the last bit here will be a schedule, just so that everybody has a clear idea what will be going on over the 2 day duration.
Amazing.
That gives a quick recap. It took a little bit longer than expected. So,
No,
but please, if you have any questions,
yeah, I was gonna say I like there have been like before some as before we've done this webinar, there have been some questions from students and a lot of them you answered. So things about like how to
awesome.
network or how to make connections with professionals. Like I think you covered that really well. Like find out what channels they're leading, go to that channel, sign up, engage with their content, send them a message. That's like a good way to network or network
Yeah,
with another student in the way like go to the thing the membership that you have in common, search for a message, that kind of thing. I think that's really helpful. Also, you covered things like how can I find a job? So going to the jobs tab or like participating in the career fair, having a fully filled out profile with your interests and your resume up. That's all really good. A couple of questions that remain.
hmm
So some of our alumni are in high school,
yeah,
but like soon we'll be like at university, or we'll be like maybe at university and doing starting their career at the same time. So when they sign up, instead of putting their university down, like you put George Washington University down, if I'm coming in from high school, should I just type out like the name of my high school and then maybe like what I'm
absolutely,
interested in? Okay.
absolutely. Yes, definitely. That's the right way to. That's the right
Okay.
approach.
And
And
if yeah,
let me add on to that, Kyle.
yeah,
We have high school students on Localized. There
yeah,
are institutions similar to Stevens Initiative that do programs with high school students, and
yeah,
they are on Localized. So
okay,
yeah, your community, the Stevens Initiative high school student will
yeah,
not be an isolated case. There
uh,
are other members that are high school students that do
yeah.
benefit from what we have to offer.
That's good to know because I think like high school students are really interested in also like gaining these skills or learning this content or like
Yes,
making these connections. So I think that's helpful. So you can list when you sign up, even if whatever doesn't populate, you can write down what yours is and then you'll be good.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
I think the other question was like when they're getting started, like how many channels would you recommend someone follows at the beginning? Like, I mean, I assume they can follow as many as they'd like, but
Yes.
if they just follow one, that might not like show them the content they need to see
Yeah.
or want to see.
Yeah. So my recommendation would be start off between 3 and 5.
Okay.
And as you navigate through the platform, you will come through attend the webinar that's interesting.
Hmm.
You'll want to follow the channel that that particular expert is
Yeah.
following.
So you can keep
Um,
adding later as you come across new content.
exactly. And then a cool way here. If I have a colleague of mine, I can click on their profiles as well, right? So we
Hmm.
were able to click on members' profile. Go and see what your colleagues are following.
Yeah.
Maybe that you've missed something that they've picked up on. So that's also another nice way to see what members of the Stevens Initiative are following and follow similar thing. That's a good starting point as well.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Yeah. I think my last question is I know we have a lot of alumni from the Stevens Initiative who don't live in the Middle East or
Yeah,
North Africa, right?
yeah, yeah,
Probably because of their virtual exchange, they connected with other students who live in that region, so they might be interested in that region or like learning from these mentors. But I know one thing that I really like about the platform is that it really is focused on those experts and mentors who have a connection to the region. Either
yeah,
they lived there or they live there now or they work in that region or work virtually in that region. But
yeah.
is there an appeal or can alumni who don't live in the MENA region um, participate on Localized?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This the simple answer, absolutely yes.
Uh-huh.
So as I had mentioned previously, while these experts are they might have origins in the MENA, or as you meant, they have an association to MENA. They are experts in their respective fields, right?
Yeah.
So you can gain from their knowledge, from their experience, regardless of where they're originating from, right? So if you have the head of global supply chain in Apple on there,
Yeah.
he's Syrian, originally from Syria. Yeah, he's a guy anybody can benefit from this guy, right? If you're
Of course.
interested in supply chain, he's like at the top of the pyramid, right?
Yeah.
So there is that, and let me add on to this, Kyle. We
Mhm.
have recently, and this is great. Also, we have universities in the US that have recently joined onto Localized. So we have Columbia University that have
Mhm.
joined. We have Northeastern University that have joined. The Global Business School Network have also joined on Localized. So
Yeah.
these are predominantly US-based institutions.
Mhm.
But again, like I mentioned, the value added that a student can receive remains. Whether or not you're in the MENA or not,
Mhm.
the expertise are there.
Yeah, I
The
think that
knowledge is there.
yeah, that was true for me. Even when I was like first signing on, like exploring this opportunity for Stevens Initiative alumni, when I created my profile, I saw channels or events or webinars, and I was like, oh, I'm actually just me, not in my job for alumni, but me.
Yeah,
I'm interested in that. Like they're like I'm interested
yeah,
in education technology, or I'm interested in learning, or I'm interested in these other things. And there
yeah,
were channels for my interests. And I live in the United States and I went to school in the United States
yeah.
and I don't live in the MENA region. And so I think that's true for me, and that'll be true for our alumni.
Yes, yes.
I think those were all the questions that I have, and this was like so thorough. I think this will be a really good resource as students get started.
Awesome.
So I guess I will say thank you very much for taking the time. And we hope that the our alumni like investigate localize and get started filling out their platform and get ready for the career fair on November 16th and 17th.
So let
Yeah,
me add one last bit, Kyle.
please.
I think it's important because as students join on to Localized, so how do I know what's happening, right? If I'm
Hmm.
not, I might not be able to get on the platform every day.
Yeah.
So there are communication emails that will be sent out on a regular basis from Localized to all the students. So there are two
Awesome.
sets of emails. There's an email.
Hmm.
So once you've signed on, you're automatically enrolled on a mailing list. So you
Hmm.
will receive activities on channels that you're following, things that you might have missed, reminders. These
Yeah.
all happen automatically through Localize, and then through the Stevens initiatives, through you guys,
Hmm.
when you see webinars, and I think it predominantly will be around webinars or
Yeah.
the
Or
bigger
events.
events, right?
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
so the career fair, we have in
Exactly.
February, we're planning for an AI deep dive day.
Oh,
It
cool.
should be really awesome. There's an MIT based company that's leading this for us.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty cool. I'm quite excited about that. So these will the community will receive relevant emails
Yeah.
to see what's happening on Localized.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's two different ways. One is from you all, that's automatic and like lets them know about like the things they're following or what they might have
Yeah,
missed. And then there
yeah,
another way is from us at the Stevens Initiative when we share those newsletters or on our social media, letting people know like, hey, these are big events that like if you haven't been on the platform in a while, you should like check these out because they're going to be coming up. That's a great point that I forgot to mention. So thank you for that.
awesome,
Cool. Okay. Well, then we will turn it off and say thank you everybody for listening and attending, and we'll see you on Localized soon.
awesome. Thank you, everybody. Great. Hope to see you on Localized.
Yeah. Awesome.